One of your most enduringly popular characters is first daughter Laura Hartson from the First Council. Was she one of your favorites when you first conjured her up?
It's one of my favorite too. When people ask me what to read, I always say this in The Escape Artist. But so that book, The First Council, was the third book that came out. And my publisher, actually, the second book didn't do well. It did not do well at all. The first book went out, was this blockbuster, blah, 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 what they call it. The second book, like, the sales plummeted. And I was terrified. The publisher shut down. I was like, this is the end. It's all over. And I just said, I'm going to write the book I want to write. And I was going to write a White House thriller about the president's daughter. And the week I got all my interviews set up, this little scandal broke in the White House at the time by the name of Monica Lewinsky. Scandal broke. And every door slammed in my face. No one wanted to talk to anyone when that happened. And I'll never forget, the Washington Post did this huge story in the style section that basically said, like, only a fool would be working on a White House thriller right now because you can't beat reality. And I remember reading that paper and going, oh my gosh, I'm the fool. That's me. But it's been a good part of a year researching and writing the book, and the book finally came out. And, again, it takes a long time for these things to play. So like 2 years after this all happens, the book comes out, and this tiny show comes on the air called The West Wing. And we were like a week or 2 or 3 later after The West Wing, our book came out. And suddenly, again, just dumb luck, right place, right time, the White House became the place again. Everyone was interested. And I was the only person that had a book about the White House and the inner workings of it from the first family's perspective. And I got lucky. It wound up being, it sold in a way that we never, ever anticipated. And I remember calling my mom when everything shut down. I'll never forget. I called my mom. I'm like, the publisher shut down. The book's not doing well. We lost our contract. Like, what do we do? And I remember my mom said to me, I'd love you if you were a garbage man. And she wasn't anything she prepared. My uncle was a garbage man. She wasn't taking cracks at garbage men, but it was just her true feelings in that moment. And that was strength to me. And so it just kind of, unlike the second book, I was like, I'm writing what I want. I don't care if no one wants to buy it. It's what I want to write. And the reason you love Nora as a first daughter, this dangerous, sexy first daughter who gets into trouble, is because that was the most interesting character on the planet to me. And you feel it in chapter 1. It's maybe my favorite, beside The Escape Artist, my favorite chapter 1 I think I've ever written was that opening chapter of that book. And she just came from researching for a year all president's kids, talking to a former president's daughter who was willing to speak with me, and just throwing myself into that crazy universe and the microscope that kind of lights on fire when you live in the White House.
What do you consistently try to pack into an opening chapter of a Brad Meltzer book? It just pulls readers in every time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's what I want. I write for one person, and it's for myself. And what I want is, I want the author's passion. There is no answer. And some people tell you, oh, you need a good murderer, you need a good this, you need a good character. What you're really feeling in your favorite book, whatever your favorite book is the author's passion for that project. The book you love most, the author, it feels like there's a train leaving the station and the author's basically saying, we're leaving. We don't care if you come, we're going. And you want to jump aboard. And to me, that's the X factor in every book. Does the author love what they're doing? And if they love it, you'll feel it on the page. And if they hate it and they're writing their 20th book with their 20th old character that they hate, you're going to feel that too. And it's why so many people are like, oh, I love that author's first book, but then they got okay. Like, why? Because the authors are bored. And so for me, what I want to put in that first chapter is everything that I love. Like, if it's going to be, a death, it's going to be that death I can't wait to tell you. If it's going to be a character, it's that character I can't wait to share. Whatever excites me the most is what goes in chapter 1, period. And that is, there's no rule. There's no, you couldn't chart the books that I've written and say, like, here's the formula. Like, there's a murder on this. And then sometimes I introduce the character. Sometimes it's the place. Sometimes it's the plot. Sometimes it's the bad guy. But it's just that thing that I'm most excited by